Okay, but yeah, so watching a video just all together, I will say that like I know exactly what you're talking about, that there's definitely colorism. Well, that's not the word you're supposed to use, but
Mhm.
the all the things that imply colorism do exist for light skinned people as well. Just like, like as dark skinned women and men experience colorism, I believe that light skinned people do as well. There's just not a technical term for it yet.
Mhm. Mhm.
So that's really like my main take on it, because it like I definitely seen it. Like even I have twin daughters, and they're both light skinned.
I'm a twin. I have a twin
Yeah,
brother though.
yeah,
Yeah.
they're fraternal, so they look different, but they're both light skinned, but
Mhm.
darker than the other. One is lighter than the other, so to say. So
Yeah.
even with them, like I could kind of see not just, like white people or whatever other races, like it was a matter of like curiosity, but then sometimes, oh, like little jabs, like, oh, that one's lighter, that was that, and then like it
Hey,
was
wow.
the thing is, I think the amount of like comments that I got from one race or the other was honestly about the same. It's just different terms. I guess you could use racism versus colorism, but um
Absolutely.
yeah, I would say even like being in public when they were really little, especially in public, and also it made a difference if my husband was there or wasn't there.
Mm.
But like if it was just me and them, that's probably when I got the most comments, and it would be like, oh my God, you had twins. And it was always the usual thing first. And then it would turn into like, oh, they look different. And
Yeah.
it on the person, it could be, oh, they look different. That's cool. Or it could be, oh, that one's really white. And that's like,
Yeah.
yes, like there's
That is so crazy, but now that you said it, like when you was like it's kind of equal for Caucasian and blacks, like you can get feedback, negative feedback from both
right.
races. And I'm in my mind thinking of things I've heard when I was younger, older people. My mom would even say sometimes, I mean, it is
Yeah.
what it is. But I can't imagine like how does that affect you as a mom though? Because um, when I touched on this particular topic, I was definitely nervous because I feel like it's a conversation that people do not want to have.
Yeah, I agree.
Conversation where it's like, I said what I said, light skin, white, whatever, get treated better. Because I also had a friend when I lived in Nashville. I just moved to Atlanta. I've been here about a year.
Mhm.
Before I moved to Nashville, I mean, when I was living in Nashville, another girl said to me, she was like, light skin is next to white and white is right. Like those are the type of things.
Perspective, because that there but I will say that unfortunately in the Black community, that's like kind of been ingrained as like a that should they want it to be all of our perspective. So I will say that I can see that perspective too, but then I do know that there is the opposite side where there's Black people that's like, and I mean like people that are like, I don't date mixed, I don't date light, I don't date white, I don't date anything outside my race. I only date chocolates. And
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
usually,
absolutely.
yeah, and it's usually more on like I don't want to use that term, but people that's I'm trying to find the best word to without,
Yeah.
but it's usually people that it's usually more an internal thing, like a trauma response. Like when I
Mm,
was younger, I got treated a certain way, and now I hate everybody that don't look like me. Kind of,
absolutely.
and I've even like a few weeks ago, I had one of my exes like reached out to me, and it's like, I mean, what's the point? I'm married, I have kids, blah blah blah, right?
Right.
But it's like we ended up arguing over like literally a colorist thing, but it was a thing where he was like, oh, Rose, like I have never like dark skinned women, I ain't never like Black women, I really only date mixed girls or white girls, and you just the only Black woman that I've ever been attracted to, blah blah blah. And I think he thought that I was gonna be like, oh my God, thank you. And I was like,
Like
that's
flattered. Like,
messed up. Like that's honestly
yeah.
to think that it's okay to say that to a Black woman. Me personally, I don't really feel offended because you're not hurting me by saying that, because like I know that it's just like your inner, it's your trauma just spilling out of your mouth. I know why you talk in that way, but it doesn't affect me personally. But I started treating this like well, maybe if I tell you about it, maybe you'll see it for yourself. So I tried to like explain it like a in a different situation, let's say, because obviously he's my ex, I dated him before, right? But I was like for example, so what if I said, oh no, I just don't like black men. I just can't. My husband's white and I married him because I just can't stand these black men because they treat this, that, and the third, and that's why my husband's white. Like that's really messed up. Like, and it's like, for me, that's not necessarily true, but it's like for some people, they do marry outside their race for those reasons. But
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
the same thing. It's like people get so hooked on like the terms, I think, on, oh, this didn't happen to you because it can't, since colorism only exists for dark skin,
Yeah,
because definition says blank. But that
right.
your actual experiences. So
I think I like what you said though when you say it's trauma based. I think people want to overlook
yeah.
childhood traumas. It shapes
So
you as an adult. Like, I mean,
that's
you might not realize it when you're, huh?
I said that's usually one of the main reasons, honestly.
Yeah, like literally, you might not even recognize it at 21 and 25, but at 30 or 28, you might experience something. It's like you're triggered because I had to sit with myself before I even made the video. Why is this bothering me so much? Why am I so triggered by something that my friend said? And I had to sit in it because it's like, I've never really, like, if people made jokes or said something negative, I never really, spoke up about it. But it's like the older I'm getting, I'm like, now, if I said the same thing to you, it would
Right.
not end well at all. You know what I'm saying? Especially with a dark-skinned woman. And, I don't want people to take things out of context. Like I said, I'm not a victim, But at the end of the day, I can literally sit here and say that anyone who has discussed my complexion has been dark-skinned women. Literally,
Right.
and men.
That, like really on both sides, it's the exact same thing. Like literally, it's like for dark skinned women, I think that's why I guess dark skinned men men are a little bit different when it comes to the topic.
Like
But
I said, they don't care when it come down to the come down.
yes, like it's honestly a little bit different unless it's like something with my ex where somebody that they're interested in and then that person says something to them, then it becomes a problem. But generally, like it's a little bit different. But for women in particular, from my experience with other like dark skinned women that's had something against light skinned women in whatever sort of way, like, like treated them in a way that where I saw that they were treating them in a certain way, it was like, I know that this person is acting this way because they have like their own self insecurities, right? And then,
Yeah.
but then on a flip side where it's like light skinned women that might treat dark skinned women a certain way. And then it's on both sides, it could be a multitude. It could be
Yeah.
insecurities, it could be they were raised with their parents always talking trash about the other, like the other skin tone or whatever. Like all those different things. And I'm thinking about like when I was younger, I'm the oldest of seven children.
The
And
youngest of
yeah, oh wow. But there is like all it is a range of skin tones. Like we all have a different skin tone pretty much. One of my sisters, she's the lighter out of all of us. I would say she's maybe your color or maybe your color now, but I think she was a little bit lighter like when we were younger. But I remember like some of the younger kids, like some of my brothers, well, two of my brothers, and then like just a few of the little ones would call her like white. And it was like to them they would be like, oh, be quiet, you a white girl, and but for her, like I almost want to go talk to her about this because I haven't really sat down and talked to her, but it makes like I've always thought like I know that hurts because they would do the same thing to me, but for me it was different. I have a sister that's also dark skinned, and then both of us are dark skinned, right? But for me, I was always like pretty privileged, like, oh, dark skin Barbie, blah, 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 right? So but I also saw how with her, they called her Blackie, which is way different from Diana Ross or Barbie or all those other names that they had for me. But I think that was a pretty privileged thing. I think that was, if I looked different, they would have been calling me Midnight or something else. Like it's like the dudes in school. you know, so I think on both sides, I've literally saw it on both sides, and it literally exists on both sides. It's just there's been a name created for if you're a dark skinned woman and or man and it happens to you,
Yeah,
you're light skinned.
yeah. It's wild. I mean, you know, with you dating someone who is Caucasian and having mixed kids though, do you feel pressure to like have to instill certain things in your daughters, or like when they get to, I don't know how old are they? I don't know how old,
Oh,
but
dude, they're little.
oh, okay. So, like, eventually that day might come because, like you say, it can be, oh, you're pretty Barbie dark skin, you're pretty Barbie light skin or whatever. But what if there's a time where it's the opposite? You know what I'm saying? Like, what if somebody doesn't like you because you are just you? And like you say, it can be dark skin or light skin. Because like I say, I
Exactly.
have friends of all shades who are gorgeous. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I just think about stuff like that too. Like, what are we supposed to do though? Because I feel like even with me and you having this conversation, it could be a healing thing for a lot of people. It
Yeah.
doesn't have to be a battle of, oh, yeah, this or that. You know what I mean? Like, how can you make somebody, well, not make somebody, but how are you gonna, if and when the times come, like, what are you gonna have to say to your daughters? Like, how do you prepare that? You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Actually think about that. Like, and I think it's in my head because of the fact that they are like a different shade that people notice and talk about.
Mm.
So actively, I'm already like thinking about it. And even my husband, like me and him have like sat down multiple times and kind of talked about like what we, like how we want to raise them in that matter. And it's for me, it's a funny battle of like I'm proud of my skin, blah 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 blah, right? But I also don't want them to be like, oh, my mom's pretty. Like I'm a professional model. That's what I do for a living, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't want them to look and then be like, oh, but we don't even look like we don't actually even look the same. We might have the same features, but we don't even have the same skin tone or the same hair or like
Right, right.
those are things that I think about. Like, and for me, it's my main point so far, like while they're little, is just like kind of focusing on their individuality. Like the one
Yeah.
that's like they have like different personalities and stuff, and they're both actually still like me in different, of course, but it's to the general naked eye that sees us as a family. The one that's the lightest, usually they're like, it's a thing where they're like, oh, they're so cute, and then they're like, oh, are they twins? And I'm like, yeah, and they're like, oh, they're both yours, and I'm like, yeah, and then they're like, oh, that's crazy. But it's always like every time they do it, they always kind of glance at the lighter one, and they're like, oh, really? Like
Yeah.
you and her, like that
Like
happened?
how? Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that
Kids are so innocent too because, you know, kids can grow up and be like, I want to be your color. You know what I'm saying? I
right.
don't want to be that. I want to be dark. Like that little boy, did you see he was crying because he wanted to be Mexican? Did you see
Yeah.
that? It was
Yeah.
hilarious. But kids are so innocent. I just hate that this is such a huge thing in the Black community, which, like you say, it's just been ingrained in all of us since.
Yeah. Like, it, it's crazy when you think about it, but it's like it's at the end of the day, it's something we all got to deal with. And I think like even for me, I wasn't always pretty. I don't think there was a time where all the boys at school was calling me midnight, like for real, like all those terms you could think of, and it was some of them that was their way of trying to flirt because little boys don't know how to flirt in fifth or sixth grade, but like it still hurt, like and so, and it wasn't even for me. I think it was kind of confusing because my family were the ones that were like, "Oh, you such a cute little doll," and all this stuff, right?
Yeah.
But then like and my friends they were, like they seemed to like me too, but then it
Right.
was like boys at school keep
Yeah.
saying that and all this different stuff. So I think those were like mixed signals for me as a kid. I think I was like I I love myself, but I'm confused on if I should.
Yeah.
Like like should I? It was kind of like that. It was like I like being me, but I feel a little confused about if my skin color is okay. Like I think that's how I felt kind of growing up, like just kind of in the unknown of like I
Yeah.
don't know.
What am I thinking today? I guess we're gonna roll with it.
Right. And so,
Yeah.
and I think I don't know, I think along the way that kind of changed. I think that changed for me because from my experience, like when it comes to men that I date, I've dated obviously outside my race, and I've also dated Black men, dark skin, light skin mix. Like I've dated literally every freaking race.
Yeah.
But one thing I will say is that the general person that approaches me is usually a lighter skinned person or a different race. The general dark skinned man that approaches me is usually not in public. Like when they do, it's usually through social media. And then there's still an equal amount of dark skinned men that do approach me, but it's in a more like they're like kind of like easy with it. Like I don't think doing this kind of way. Like that's kind of
Yeah.
how my experience has been like with, so I'm not gonna say, oh, dark skinned men don't approach me. I just didn't. They do. It's just different. Like the way that they choose to approach me is a lot different in comparison to lighter skinned men or white men or whatever other race. So I'm not 100% what's up. I'm not sure what's up with that, but that is something that I've experienced that I think is odd. I think.
Yeah. I don't know. I can't really I don't really get approached by light skinned men. Like I don't know, thinking about I mean, they're not really let me not say that. The people that approach me, yeah, I don't really get a lot of people that are outside of Black though. Not for real. I've been hit on maybe like once or twice by a Caucasian. Now I did have this oh Lord, never mind, I'm just skip that part because I don't know the proper term to say. But and I think too, for me, I have to say this because it's my experience too. Mm-hmm. Pretty privilege is pretty privilege. Okay. Right. I'm not pretty privileged. Yeah. Yeah. Like me personally, when people be like, oh, pretty privilege, you have no, I do not. I'm a plus size woman. Okay. In 2023. We're living in an era where if you big, you big. What they say, big back or whatever they want to call it. From my experience, now if I was a fine ass petite girl, I don't know what would happen. I would get pretty pretty. But guess what? When I see pretty, you can see pretty in any shade, any race. They're gonna get what they're gonna get. I'm not gonna sit up here and like I don't get played, but at the same time, it's like it's different for other people, no matter if they're dark skin or light skin. And that's why I want to touch on it, because if I'm your friend and me and you share intimate conversations, have vulnerable moments, you already kind of know where I stand in society anyway. Yeah. You already know how I'm rocking when it comes to if we're going to sit down at a bar and look cute and have a drink. Nobody might not talk to me at all, but a million people might talk to you. I'm not going to project how I feel. If me and you were to go have a drink and you got all the attention, I might be like, dang, like, girl, Rose, can I have one number? Like, don't get me wrong, there's truth behind every joke, but it's not projected onto you. It's an insecurity within myself. Like you said it earlier. You feel what I'm saying? I can't get, and that's another thing I feel like.
But I can't say like that is also self-awareness, and it might just be that the person was not completely even self-aware in that way, like to be able to be like, okay, this is something that I'm dealing with internally. I probably shouldn't project this. Like probably we're just literally trauma dumping, like dropping out how they feel internally, even if it's factual or not.
And that's what my mom said. She was like, well, babe, do you think that, she meant it like that? Because like I said, certain situations just make you sit and think, because I used to be a person that just react. So now I have to sit there and be like, okay, am I tripping? Did I take this out of context? Am I taking it too personal? But after so long, if the same conversation keep recircling, but we're not having a real conversation, that's an issue for me. Because I want to be open 100% who I am as a person with my friends. I'm from Alabama, baby. That's one of the most conservative places that you can live. Mississippi, we got Louisiana, like it's racist. Like, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But, you know, the friends that I have, like I built foundations with people that I've been friends with for years, and not once has color ever been an issue for us.
Yeah.
Because guess what? Through our school, it wasn't about dark skin, light skin, like Caucasian. You get what I'm saying? I'm from a small town. The Caucasians run the town. You get what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
we just didn't have time to focus
Really,
on.
our
Like,
shape is different, yeah.
like I said, in high school, I probably had that one incident, but once again, back to like just bringing awareness to colorism. Like my mama didn't talk to me about that. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't
I
have to feel,
thought that
you,
either.
yeah. I
Yeah,
didn't really
I'm
have a
trying to think.
conversation.
I don't know.
I'm like, my mama didn't never say, oh, you know, well, you're light skinned and you're dark skinned over here. We're gonna talk about the differences that you might, you know, have in life. Like that never was a conversation. My mama was always, look, people would treat you wrong just because you ain't gotta do nothing to
Right.
nobody. You can just be looking how you looking, breathing how you breathing, and
Yeah.
somebody will have something to say. So
Yeah.
that's always been my motto. But it also pains me too, because I do have a friend who has shared things with me about what she's been through in her life. And it was it was terrible. Like I couldn't imagine being 7 years old or 10 years old being told that I'm ugly because of my complexion,
Right.
or, you know, you're not going to be anything because you're, you know, who you are, who God made you to be. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I do get sad about stuff like that, but I think that people have to find avenues. That's why I was glad when you did DM me. You know what I'm saying? That's why I said, like, hit me up, because I don't want to sound ignorant. I don't want people to come to my channel and see me expressing myself as a way of
Yeah.
whatever.
Now, and I will say something that I've saw is that when light skinned people or anybody that's not the typical dark skin that they're talking about shade voices what they've been through, everybody kind of like throws it, you know, like pushes it on the rug, where they say like, oh, they just like trying to get clout or attention or whatever
Yeah.
word. And I think that I don't know. I don't know if it's just that they don't want to talk about it, maybe. And it could be that, like, or maybe they are in denial and just don't want to acknowledge
Yeah.
that light skinned people go through things too.
And you
Like,
know, Rose, like, not to cut you off, but like literally, even in podcasts, it can be, they ain't even, like I said before, you don't even have to be dark skinned. This could be a brown skinned woman and a light skinned woman. And they were talking, and literally it will get shut down. Like, you don't know what you're talking about.
yeah.
Huh. And I'm not trying to keep reiterating light skin versus dark skin. That's not the point. But I'm just like, I just wish that people could have more conversations like this. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's better than nobody. We all put our pants on the same way. And that's really how I feel about it, honestly.
Talking to one of my friends about this. That's what I was saying, because my ex that hit me up, it was like it turned into a whole heated argument. Like,
Yeah.
I was like, you colors, and he blew up literally. With the minute I said that, it got crazy. Hold on, your screen froze. Let me see. Hold on. Okay, there we go.
Okay.
Okay.
Can you hear me? Oh,
Oh, I can hear you now. It's like it kept glitching for a second, but it's good now.
okay, cool. I'm so sorry.
Okay, sorry.
Excuse me.
But yeah, yeah, I think at the end of the day, everybody has those experiences. And I think what's crazy is this kind of also makes me think about wait, can you still hear me? Your screen froze again for a second.
I'm like, what is this thing doing? Okay. Okay. I think we're okay.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
But a conversation I had with my husband, we were kind of talking about how this is similar to when Black people don't like white people.
Mm-hmm.
You can't be racist. That is not possible. They're not a minority, so you cannot.
Right.
Right, but it's like, but at the end of the day, they can still be discriminated against, and they can, people hold prejudices and treat them a certain way. It's just that you can't technically use the word racist or racism when it comes to a Black person because of the definition being minority,
Right.
you know. So and I think it's a similar thing where there just isn't a technical term, even though it's basically the same thing but flipped. Like,
Yeah.
so
Absolutely. I agree.
the the issue.
Yeah, I agree too. It's a sad thing because I also feel like I don't really hear about this in any other race except for
Right.
ours. Maybe they're keeping it
Exactly.
in wraps, but
But but we can. One thing I can say is, in most other races, they don't have as many of a variety of shade of melanin as we do to even try to.
absolutely, absolutely.
One thing I know from personal experience is like the Hispanic community. There is like a light versus dark in it. They're like in their community, it is still kind of similar, but not. It's not the same exact like range of shades, but it's
Yeah,
still a like light skin versus dark skin kind of thing. With of it's basically the same stuff,
yeah,
like, but
yeah.
it's for the same backstory reasons, you know, like it's the same general reasons for why, you know, well, for why it's that way. But yeah, I mean, it just sucks that we in 2023 and people haven't been like, okay, this is crazy. Like, why don't we just stop doing this?
Right. Like at the end of the day, people don't want to admit it, but it's your heart really do outweigh anything you look like because you can be the most beautiful person and have the most evil spirit, evil
Exactly.
attitude. Like, I don't care if you think you're a bad bee, you don't have a humble spirit.
Right.
And people don't like it, but it is what it is. I just hope that, you know, what I feel from you and myself is that whoever our friend, family, whatever, at least we can be open enough to have the uncomfortable conversation. Or, you know, I remember one time we were having a family reunion at my mom's house, and my cousin's niece came up. She loved makeup, and she was just talking about, you want some lip gloss? So we just was messing with her and stuff. And then she, out the blue, she just said, I want to be your color. So like literally we all was like, what? And she got scared because she felt like she did say something wrong, but everybody was just, me and my cousin, we looked at her like, what did you say? Don't ever say that, because she's
Yeah.
darker complexion. Like, don't you ever say that. You're beautiful. Like, you have the most beautiful skin. Like, don't ever want to be something that you're not. You're made just the way you're supposed to be made, but and another thing that makes me like, I don't have kids, but just looking at the things that some of my friends have to instill in their kids at such a young age. I'm like, oh my God, I didn't even know nothing about that until high school.
Right. Exactly.
Like, y'all out here wanting all this stuff and seeing.
Let me see. It messed up again. Let me see. It's trying to reconnect. Okay.
I'm
I think
this
it just started glitching out. It let me see. Rose and like
you don't want to be great. Huh?
it froze when you were talking about like the stuff that like that kids see, I guess.
Oh yeah, just it's just different. Like, even if we talk about racism besides colorism, like, you could know somebody was racist, but they didn't put it in your face. They didn't wave
Exactly.
in your face. You get what I'm saying? Like, now people will literally walk up to a person and just, like, the Karen theme and what they call other people, I don't know, but it's just, I think we're just living in a very, very superficial, like,
Are because
we
it's we do. It's like social media. We constantly see Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. All
yeah,
he is the physical, and we don't have that much to put to it besides some little captions that they wrote, you know. And then even if it's a video, it's like a few seconds within their day, and then you like judge the person based off those few seconds.
absolutely.
And then even with dating, there's all these dating profiles, and the way you figure out who you like is by saying,
a picture. Yeah.
dark.
Oh my God. Thank you. Thank you for saying that, because literally in my video, I have had arguments with people. I don't care what nobody say. You use your eyes before you
Yeah,
use anything else. Like literally, you are
exactly.
judging. Like you don't have to be judging in a bad way, but you're looking at a person like, oh, he's cute, she's pretty. I don't like her shirt. I like her shirt. Like it
Yeah,
happens without us thinking. It's just a habit. Everybody needs to admit that physicality
you.
matters.
It's
Like,
literally supposed to do. Like,
I get so angry. People like, it's not all about the physical. I mean, it's not all about it, but physical is a
right,
big factor for a lot of people. We wouldn't have preferences if it wasn't.
right. And if it was, of course, it's not all about the physical, but the other stuff matter. If they didn't matter, we would not even talk. We would just like meet up and that's it. Because it
Yep.
only makes we look like like, so it's like, I don't know why people just get so caught up on the definitions of things. I don't know why, but
Yeah.
I think that's
And
a
you know, yeah, and like even when I looked up colorism, because I felt so ignorant. I'm telling you, girl, like when I really figured out what the definition of colorism was, I really was taken aback because I thought it was for all Black people.
yeah,
I'm thinking we all check that African American box, so I'm
right.
like, oh my God. But even when you was talking about your ex reaching out to you and saying, I don't even like Black girls like that. Like you basically saying you gave me a chance, I should be grateful. That's
And
because I'm Black.
that is what triggered him. Like, and it was like, so me literally saying exactly what you're doing is a problem. And he's like, you just don't like that. I don't like, what he say? You first, it started with, you just don't like that. I don't like dark skinned women. And then like, as we kept talking, it became, you don't like that. I don't like Black women. And I'm like, so Black women as a freaking whole now? I thought it was
Right.
just
That-
like it's
and you
getting
know what? I think that's a trick. Now I ain't gonna lie, but majority of Black women, that is one of the things we hate to hear. I hate to hear a Black man sit. If I ever hear my brother, nephew, uncle, I don't care who. What? How can you say you don't like Black women like that? Like my friend literally was told that this guy told her the same thing your ex told her, but you don't date Black women like that. But you're okay with doing other things with me. You feel what I'm saying? Like, so sometimes that bothers my.
he specifically said that it was it started over a video of Remy Ma, and I was like, she's beautiful, and I was talking about like just how she looked, and he's like, I would hit it basically, but I wouldn't, like I wouldn't wife her, like I wouldn't do anything more than that. And then I was like, so you confusing me because you in my DM saying how we should have been married and we should have kids, but I done married this white dude and all this stuff. But you don't even like women that look like me, so it's not making sense.
Let me ask you something. What? Okay, what? I feel like it's like something mentally wrong with men, that Black
Oh
men
no,
that's
I thought you were going to him.
oh no, but it might be for him to say that. Yeah, something's missing, babe. Because how can you look at your Black women, all these beautiful shades? We have, like you say, all the shades. We're melanin. We have every flavor. And you mean to tell me out of all these flavors, you're just going to throw the whole race away that you came from, a Black woman that raised you to be a Black man, and you get off your high horse and now you looking down at us? Because baby, one thing about it, most of the men that talk about how they don't like Black women, their mama be the blackest thing on the street.
And that's what I was about to say. And his mama she's not a light-skinned woman. Like she's
Right.
not, yeah, like she isn't even his skin tone. So it's like,
it's weird. Your grandma Black.
Issue? Like, what is it?
That's what I be wondering.
Right. So it's like, I don't know.
It's
so
weird. I could never.
Things I thought about, like maybe he was bullied by dark-skinned girls, boys when he was younger, like something made him feel that way. But then I asked, I was like, what do you think the background is? Like, why do you feel that way? Because he treats me as like a other, like even though I'm dark skinned, I'm separate from all the other dark
I get
women.
what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and I was like, so what essentially makes me different? Because it's not about my face. There's other beautiful Black women that you've admitted are beautiful, my same skin tone. And then you said, oh, I just don't like that skin tone. It makes me feel this way or whatever. Like he literally said, like, oh, it just makes me feel disgusting. And then he said, but your skin tone is beautiful. And I said, it's the same. Like you literally just told me that the same person, or not the same person, but the same skin complexion is disgusting on another woman.
Wait.
But my personality, like, what is it that you're talking about?
He was disgusting.
He literally said
He's
disgusting.
talking about himself. He's talking about his color.
Yes, have to be, because I'm like, because that don't even make it.
We thank God right now that you dodged that bullet. We thank you, Lord.
You know, now he showed me get out of there quick.
Wow. I have not. That is a different level. That's like some hate right there. Like it's some deep down in his soul.
Bro, like, yes, you are. And he's like, don't call me that, and went like overboard. And it just became a thing. But it was like,
when you called him what?
Oh, and the other thing is he said, because like so he was saying like that he prefers light skinned women. Well, specifically before he prefers mixed women or white women. And so I said, so I was like, because like, why are you in my DMs? I'm a married woman. Not only am I not your preference, but I'm not even available. Let's be honest. Like, and then he's like, well, my preference doesn't want me. They don't answer my DMs. And then he was like, he made a comment about my babies. He's like, oh, but he was like, and you must feel the way because you have white He said, what do you call them? He's like, I think he said white kids or something. Like he used that term, like trying to be like, oh, they're white. Yeah. But I'm like, but so are you gonna treat the person that you prefer to have that way? Like, oh, this person's white or whatever, and like instill all that trauma shit on them, like language. But it's like on both sides, it's kind of a lose-lose, no matter what your skin tone is, if you end up with a man that's like that. Like,
that's crazy. Oh my, like, wow. That really just boggled my mind. I'm so like messed up behind that, because you want to know what the sad part is? It's so many Black men that think like that.
I know.
So many. And I be sitting here like, you can go home and love on your greasy Black whatever light-skinned mama, but you go out here and tear I just don't get it. And you know what's crazy? Black women love Black men. You know what I'm saying? Like, not to say we won't date outside our race. I'll date outside my race for sure. But we love our Black men. Like, I'm not gonna tear down my Black brother.
And that's when I was younger. When I first started dating boys, I was only dating Black boys. Like, even there were other like boys that liked me, and it was like a little crush kind of thing. But it was like I didn't really even become more interested in it until I saw like, okay, but the boys that I like, they don't like me because I'm dark skinned. Like, and they will literally say, like, or if they did talk to me, then all of a sudden we're not together no more because they want to date this person that like, but it might not be, they want to date this person for whatever other reason other than this person is lighter than your skin tone type thing.
Right.
I was kind of a wild kid, so I really didn't care. But at the same time, I was like, I really don't care. I don't really, for me, I wasn't even too interested in like dating boys for real. I was just doing it because that's what I was seeing kind of thing. I was, like, I didn't really care about even dating at that point, but it was like, I guess this is what women do. This is what girls do. So this is what I'm gonna do. So that's right. But it's like, even at that point, like somewhere along the lines, I started realizing like, okay, but for some reason, the boys that keep actually approaching me and like really trying to talk to me versus me trying to talk to them are in or Mexican or white or something other than Black.
Mexicans love Black women. Yes. Now, I have had some Mexicans hit on me, like they like Black women. For sure.
For sure, yeah. But it's like, I think even at an early age, like preteens, I was aware of that, like at that time.
Yeah.
And when I think about it now, it's like that seems so early to be like, dang, black boys don't like me.
Yeah, it's
So
sad.
yeah, I don't know.
And I think the thing that I always, cause I ain't gonna lie, girl, that if I hear a black guy say that, we finna have a debate.
Mm,
Everything to stop, let's talk. But I think the part that gets me too is because when you ask them, why don't you like black women? There's never, in my opinion, I should say.
Oh, now he actually gave me a reason, and it's the reasons that you don't want to hear. But he was like, I wish I should pull up the text messages to look at the DMs just to go. But he said that black women are, and he specific, and this is what threw me off because the argument started on dark skinned women, and then he started looping like all
Everybody.
black.
We all in the pool now.
Exactly. Like black women are loud. Oh, he said black women want to be alphas and they don't know how to they don't know how to they don't know how to like basically be quiet is what he said. Like, and that they want to be alphas and they always feel like they gotta lead and they always gotta prove that they're right. And like to me, the stuff that you just said like you are just maybe not an alpha man. And so essentially maybe
Hello.
yeah, and I'm like, maybe you are encountering
Because
that
we will be quiet. We'll be quiet for that guy.
exactly. That's what I'm
So,
for a man that is of that stature, then yes, of course.
this is my thing. Okay, let's talk about it. Loud. I'm naturally loud. I'm like a big bubble. If I'm too quiet, there's probably something wrong with me. But the thing about it is, I'm only naturally that loud if I'm with my friends, my family.
Right.
I'm not gonna walk in the corporate office. Ha 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 he. You know, I know how to act classy, classic,
Right.
whatever you want to call it. You know, but you cannot say that. Do you know how many? Like this whole even girl. Another thing, like I can start rambling about this, but another thing that I don't like too. I'm gonna throw this out there. Why does black girl luxury have to be a trend? Why can't we just have a luxurious life? Why
Right.
do you have to hashtag black luxury or soft girl, whatever people want to call it?
Yeah.
I don't care about the soft girl. I like soft girl era. I like
Yeah.
that. But the
I
whole
get
I
why.
can show y'all how many designer bags I got, how I vacation, how I go to the spa. Like I don't mind the trend, but I'm just saying why when it comes to us, we have to make it such a what's the word I'm looking for? Like this
Well,
unobtainable thing.
like mentioning black before the
Like it's almost like taboo, like, oh, I'm a black girl living in luxury. Like I
right.
know plenty of women who live luxury lives, like they're black, they're fine with their
Yeah.
lives. But I'm sorry, I just had to throw that out there. But back to the guy and these things, like that's just some like the reasons, every reason he gave you, in my opinion, is child's play. Those
Yeah.
are the go-to examples. Loud, don't know when to be quiet, want to be in control. The thing about it is, if you want to get technical, I would love to see him with a real black woman because he
Right.
probably handle it, because you have to boss up.
He can't at all. Like he can't at all. And I think that's the problem with a lot of the black men that are like that. They literally just can't handle that type of woman. But I think it's a matter of like alpha versus whatever. Like he said, his own words. And I think that's the issue is, and maybe he don't want to say I'm not an alpha, but he's not an alpha type thing.
And
I
I
think
don't think black women are angry. We're not freaking angry, bro. We're out here.
but I will say that we are strong though. We've been through a lot. Reasons to be strong, just as black men have a reason to be strong. Like if we're still here, we're strong. Like let's be honest.
Absolutely.
And I will say that that's not just a black woman thing. That's black men and black women. We all have came through this together, you know. Like that's.
Hate that they see.
I think what I was gonna. Okay, what's different for me is one of the reasons my husband has explained why he loves me is also because I'm strong. That's one of the reasons. And I think it's odd for other cultures to see Black women and be like, oh wow, that is a beautiful thing. And for Black men to be like, because I can't control this girl. Like, I think that's
So
strange.
true. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Because I was gonna say the same thing. Like, Black women have so many reasons and so many like things to feel like even in my life, I'm 31, I'm single with no kids. I do everything for myself. Whatever I have to do, I gotta do it for me. Ain't nobody helping me. And it's not to say that that's the Black man's fault. It's just independence has been instilled in me for so long. Like, yeah, I grew up in a 2-parent household, but guess what? My mother did everything. It was always mama said this, mama approves this. No, you can't do that.
How the traditional Black household goes, I will say Black specifically, yes. My experience, and that's how that's basically how it's supposed to be.
And like, even like,
yeah, at work. So of course, runs the house. The woman is the queen. The man is king of the financials and keeping them stable and calm. Like, they work together. And like, that's the whole point. Right.
And I had to like take away some of it, but not all of it. You know what I'm saying? Right. Because my mom would instill like, it's okay to have a man, but don't solely depend on him for everything. Right. Because the old school, my parents were older, we met at 20 something. I popped out all these kids, so daddy take care of home and mama stay home, cook, clean, and wash everything. Me personally, I'm trying to cook, clean, and wash everything every day. And if you got that check though, I had it sparkling in there, but I think that Black men, we will carry them, but they don't want to carry us, if that makes sense. Like, it's okay for me to get you out the hood. It's okay for you to go have 4 baby mamas and then come to me and have another 5th one. Right. But in partial, like I said, I can go way deep with some of this stuff, but I think Black women also, we recognize sometimes we do have to take accountability. Like, a lot of Black women will admit that they coddle their sons. Oh, that's my baby. Like, think about a Black mom.
Yeah.
Think about a Black mom with their son. It's like,
it's way different. Real strict with the girls and real lackluster, letting the boys live their life kind of thing.
Yeah, and unlike Black men, I'm not going to demean them on this Zoom. I'm not going to bring them down because, like I said, I love Black men. But at the same time, I need for them to start taking some accountability and reasoning with the weight of a Black woman. It's not that we don't stay like that all the time. You think I'm just loud 24 hours a day? You think that I'm just an alpha all day, every day? I'm out here telling everybody what to do. Like, no, a lot of times it's I think for me, I had to recognize it as I have to be this way to see how are you gonna be? Because if you're gonna switch up or whatever they like to do, ghosting and all that, you're not really putting in that effort. Because I'm gonna be honest, most of my friends that I have dated outside of Black men will tell you straight up, the approach, the courting, it's like night and day.
It is. I agree. It's completely different.
But y'all want to drag us, babe. Y'all, and I don't want to demean. I just have to speak my truth, girl. Like, I'm an expressive person, but a lot of times I'm not gonna specify a race, but sometimes I feel like Black men go to another race because it's easier.
Yeah, that's literally what I was told. Like, it's easier, and from what I was told is that specifically white women are softer, or in other words, they don't fight back, they don't talk back, they're not gonna cheat you, sort of thing. To me, for me, if you're looking for a partner, I don't think you should go to someone solely based on this person will never speak up. Like, I think that's not a partnership. That is not a partnership at all. That is, you simply come off this house and she's just a pawn in the situation. Like, that's it, king, no queen.
Say that, girl. You better say that, because
like, I don't know why.
That green.
I don't know.
That's weird.
It's strange.
But I wish that I knew like more men, because I'd be like, let me come talk to us. Come over here. Let's have a discussion. Now, what
Yes.
does she do for you? What's going on? You know, but I don't know. I still think it all goes back to trauma and insecurity. Like you said previously,
And even because not all Black men are like that, like at all. I have
no.
and like lots of uncles that are really, really good men. But it's like for some reason in my generation, I just couldn't find that when I was looking. And when I found my husband, I wasn't even looking. We found each other oddly. Like that's
Yeah.
how that like that's just how it is. But a lot of that is like a matter of the way that the boys or men in my generation, younger millennials, Gen Z too, I
Yeah.
think that they are being raised or were raised. Like
Yeah. I hate it definitely for Gen Z. They
a Gen,
struggle.
not gonna lie, yeah.
Huh. What you say?
All my siblings are Gen Z. And it's like sometimes I just be like, oh man, like I don't even know. I don't even know what to say.
They are different. I be looking at my nephews sometimes like, what? But you know, the pandemic and COVID and all this stuff, they didn't had it kind of rough too. But I don't know, girl. That dating stuff, I just be wanting to tell people like, if you know, I don't mind people having a preference. Okay, you might not like big girls. That's great. Go talk to somebody that's not big.
Go demean other bigger women that you don't like.
And also, you don't like big women, but you still want to talk, but you're pretty. Oh, sir.
Because attracted to you, and maybe they feel, and this is how I feel with my situation is that obviously he's attracted to me. Like he literally was like, I'm your biggest fan. I've always been your biggest fan. Like clearly that means that you are attracted to me, but for whatever internalized reason, you don't want me to really know that. And range. And I
Narcissistic thing.
it's
I don't know. Is
because
it?
like obviously I know because you're talking to me, but then you're saying out of your mouth something different from like your actual actions.
Girl, this guy told me, I deleted all my dating apps, girl, like literally. Like I came in the new year, I was like, you know what? Bumble ain't helping me. Hinge, Facebook dating, I'm just cutting it off. Period. Okay. But I got this older guy on there, and he was Black, and he literally told me, he said, I really want to say something to you, but you know how y'all Black women are. I'm like, well, what do you mean? Like, just say it. I'm a big girl. I can take it. And he literally told me, he said, I have to say this, but I don't want you to get mad at me. And I'm like, I won't get mad. Knowing I'm going to get mad, but I said, go right on ahead, honey. And he said, you know, you're very beautiful, but I just see so much more potential in you. So I'm already, girl, I'm triggered because I already know what he's finna say. I'm not new to this. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
He's like, you know, if you just lost some weight, I promise you, like, your potential would just go so much like further or higher or however you want to phrase it.
Yeah.
So I said, okay. I said, that's cute and everything. All right, potential. I said, but why are you talking to me? I don't hide who I am. I might can hit them angles, you know, to make it look a little better, but I am.
Like, I don't think I like you. Let me message you and make sure you that I don't like you, know?
But,
and that's that. But then in whatever way, they also still do like you. Like, and that's the crazy part to it. Like,
yeah, it was so weird. I didn't talk to him after that though. He got mad at me because I made a YouTube video about him.
You know, I on YouTube in a while, but I was YouTubing for years, and that used to be the thing. Like, don't mess with me because I'm a YouTube about this situation.
At least you gotta put your name out there, my boy. Like I just put the situation out there, girl. He sent me this long text. He was like, "You know what? You're really good at YouTube. You know how to manipulate a situation." I'm like, "Listen, you just don't want to own up to what you said." And guess what? He wasn't even skinny. That show upsets me, but anywho. But yeah, that whole dating preference stuff. If you know what your preference is, stay over there.
Exactly. It might have been a self thing. Like, I don't like this about myself, so I'm gonna tell this person I don't like this about them.
Projection for sure. People project a lot, and now that I'm thinking about it, when those situations happened with my friend, when she said those certain things that I had to think about, you know, I was like, okay, what happened? I was like, something had to happen, because my sister was like, sometimes it's not that people don't like you as a person. They might not just like light-skinned people or dark-skinned people as a whole. But I'm just like, I mean, yeah, but you still gotta like me, what, no matter what I am, that's still a part of who I
Right.
am. Like, it doesn't make any sense. But
Yeah, it can't be I like everything about you except your skin tone. And that
yeah,
was the thing. And I think that's almost always the thing. If you encounter somebody that like they're your friend or that whatever the situation, X and all of that is
mhm,
like they do like you, but
yeah,
for then they feel the need to group you into a bunch of chaos, like stuff that happened to them when they were younger or whatever the situation, or even while they're older. It could be that they just got rejected by a light skinned or dark skinned
yeah.
person a few days ago and they still heard about it. Like,
Right. Have you ever been in a situation though where, maybe somebody brought up like, oh, he only likes this, or he's only talking to you because of your color, or chocolate Barbie or brown skin Barbie? Like, have you ever been in a
actually,
situation where
with my husband, because I said, how I said we, like I was YouTubing since like 11th grade, and we probably stopped right after the girls were born.
yeah.
First, it was just me, and then eventually, when he became my fiance, I kind of brought him into the YouTube life. So we
Mhm.
was together. But we used to get like comments like to our Instagram because we have like a couples page.
Yeah, I'm
It
gonna have to follow,
there,
yeah.
yeah, it would be the YouTube and that where we would constantly be going through the comments looking for those crazy outlandish ones like, okay, get out of here, block. Because it would be somebody like, oh, they probably into that fetish stuff. He only want her because she black and he want to do this fetish thing. Or it was always crazy stuff like that. Or I can't believe you married the oppressor. Like, like it would be stuff like that. Like what is happening? Like, so
Mhm.
it's clear you just whatever you feel is what you just wrote. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
has nothing to do with us, really. Like, and
Mm.
I,
And I
yeah,
think a lot of people, I mean, my thing is this, like, sometimes dating outside of your race is, from what I've seen, is more beneficial for, I would say, Black women. I'm sorry. It's just the truth.
yeah, I agree.
Like, I understand Black men, but what I'm trying to say is Black men will put us down to date outside of our race, but we don't really do that. Like, I think more Black
No,
women, like, we're more open. Like, we're like, yeah, I want to stick with Black, but if another race comes along, I'm not gonna just be like, oh, get out of here, boy. I only date Black, but yeah, that's weird. I just
that's
think it's just weird.
yeah. I think because one thing one time me and my husband talked about like on one of the videos we did is like when it comes to like interracial marriage, like if a black man marries a white woman versus if a black woman marries a white man,
Hmm.
statistics on the divorce rates are vastly different.
Yeah.
And it's because of the intentions from the beginning. Like when you go, if let's say I'm a black man and I've had whatever experiences with black women, they be catching me cheating, they be doing this and that, they talk too much drama. I'm gonna go marry this white girl, right? Marry the white girl. I'm only marrying her because she's white. That's it. That's the reason. And because I believe that because of her skin color, because of her race, that maybe she was raised to just listen to the man of the household and that's it. So I get to control this situation 100%.
Mhm.
And that's
Yeah.
why I'm. And then you realize that is a human being that is also going to speak up,
Yeah.
not like you thought it would go, and then
Yeah.
all of a sudden it's worse. And I think on the flip side with black women, when we date outside, it's not I'm gonna date because I don't like black men. It's usually like I'm open and I think I feel in love with guys, so that's why I'm gonna
Right. Like, I ain't never been treated like this. Let me go
try.
on hop on this ride. And I also think sometimes, and I'm gonna tread lightly, but I think that interracial Black men, white women, from a certain outside looking in, they both look like they're carrying trophies. Because
Mhm.
you will meet some, I don't know if you saw that trend on TikTok one time where Caucasian women were basically saying that they only date black guys and black guys this, then you're just mad because we take your men. Like, it was a while ago, but
But
I'm
that's
sitting there like, baby, you can take them, keep them, have fun,
right.
have fun. But they both, I think now that's when fetish comes into the play, I think. But
I agree.
I definitely think that sometimes black men look at it as a trophy. It's almost like, yeah, I got a white girl. Like,
Yeah.
you didn't have these at one point. Now I got one.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
no offense to white women. Look, I'm gonna sound like that.
Even I think that's a gender difference thing too, though. Just like as
Mm.
men, they generally are always comparing themselves to other men. So to them, it's a trophy, but towards other men, like, look what I achieved. I did this. This is like, and I think that's what it is. Like, because one thing I know when it comes, my husband's a bodybuilder. So competition, like that's like the thing. And
Yeah.
that's like just me being there was a time where I would go bodybuild with him and like work out, and I could kind of see like how it was like with the just them, because I was kind of like a floating person that was
Yeah.
there unexisting because I was his wife, so nobody was gonna mess with me, like
Right.
that regular talk kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then I was in the car business with all men, so they were always talking, and so like being as like a woman that's able to be in those spaces,
Mm.
I gathered a lot of information, and then most of it is competition. Like they care more about what other men think, regardless of their race. It's about like this man is gonna think this about me
Yeah.
whenever they make the decisions about women.
Yeah.
And it's
Wow.
I think I mean
That's real. But that's real tea though, because even when it comes to size, I think that there are men that like plus size women, but they won't be with a plus size woman because it
because
isn't
they think other men are gonna be like, oh no. And
you with a fatty, or something like that.
I think same thing with the skin color thing is maybe they have friends that don't like dark skinned girls, and this person might be attracted to them but don't want everybody to know because he feel like he gonna be judged by all his
Yeah,
friends.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's the I work in social media, so I'm constantly on social media. Like sometimes I have to literally like I cannot look at that phone today. Like I'm so tired of scrolling. I'm so tired of going on IG, TikTok. But I just, even like I said in my YouTube video, I feel like Martin Luther King, I said racism doesn't, define, but it's like we're never going to, I pray that we do, but I don't think there's ever going to be a day where the world doesn't have some type of form of discrimination, especially
No.
racism. But I'm really just looking like if more people were open to discussing, like I love those YouTube videos where they put random people in a room and they ask questions and you got to
Yeah.
step back. And it's just amazing. Like you could be literally standing next to somebody who hates you to your core just because you're white or just because you're black. Because let's be real, it's some black people out here that's hardcore racist too. You know what I'm saying? For sure. Because I know somebody personally. She grew up
I,
in.
I I do too, for sure. Like
She grew up in.
she's happily that way. Like
Yes, she grew up in a town where, once again, the black boys only dated Caucasian. They didn't want no light skin or no dark skin. They only wanted white girls. So she said her and her friends, they ain't worried about if they ugly, fat, or big. It's like, dang, like you don't even like me and I look like you. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, ew. And she said they just formed like this, rage, because it's like, I can't stand white females, white women, whatever. And we talked about it after I made my video too, because she's dark skinned, but it's just I think it's a never ending cycle. It's a never ending conversation. But I do enjoy like talking about stuff like this because I feel like, you never know who will see. I never thought you would have, hit me up or whatever like that. Like it's amazing how you could be thinking, because I told my friend, I'm like, girl, what if somebody get on there and be like, F you, like light skinned heifer, like all this stuff. I'm like, oh my God, when you reached out, I was like, oh my God, is she gonna be hating? Is she gonna be mean to me? Like, but You know, it's just, it's a sad thing. But one thing, that's why I tell people, honey, I'm not little Ray Ray that called you ugly. I'm not Becky that didn't want to talk to you because you was whatever you was. I don't know nothing about this. I just wish people could decipher and have accountability. Like when
Right.
I was little, this hurt me, but I know you're not gonna hurt me. It might take me a while to understand and give yourself the space to like you said, self-awareness goes a long way. Like I
Yeah.
feel like if you're self-aware and you know the things, that's why I love myself so much, because like somebody can say something about me, but I'm like, yeah, you're right. I know.
Mhm.
I'm not delusional. Like I can play delusional, but I'm not, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So it's crazy that we have to, and that's another thing about Black women. We're not only battling the color of our skin, we gotta have a BBL, we gotta
Right.
have boobs. Oh, you got how many baby that? Oh, you done been with it, how many people? You're angry. We
And
working on this.
what
Huh?
he some guy got in my DMs today and I was like, you know, I'm married, right? He was like, yeah, I just I was trying to figure out how old he's like, how old are you? I was like, how old do you think I am? He's like, hmm, less than 40. And I was like, obviously. And then
Ugh.
he's like, judging by the amount of kids, I'd say, meanwhile, they twins, right? But he's like, judging by the amount of kids, gotta
Mm,
be at least mid-30s then. Gotta be early to mid-30s because of the amount of kids. And I was
wow.
like, they're literally twins though. That's actually really weird.
Yeah.
That's a strange thing to say. Like, and I was like, okay, I guess.
That's
At this point, I'm gonna leave you where you went.
right. I'm gonna leave you where you stand. Let your mind wander. Sure.
Yeah, I'm like, I was like, why did you get in my DM and do this? What was
Yeah.
the point?
But that's crazy to me though. Like who even internet trolls are a real thing. Like who
Yeah,
has the time to do this? What people literally do. Like it's crazy.
yeah,
It's crazy. Mm,
yeah. Hopefully, some other people get on here and give their perspectives, and
yeah.
because I do like there are people on both sides. There are people that are like, I'm dark skinned and I don't like light people, or I'm light skinned and I don't like dark people, and
Yeah.
they gonna DM you. I'm like, if they do.
They can, baby, because let me tell you something. Come on, DM me. Come on, let's talk. Long as the energy is good. I love great energy. You have great energy, by the way. But you know, if somebody wants to, once again, your experience is going to be different from mine. Once you can realize that
And
and
that's
understand whatever
okay.
whatever happened at 15 or 7, I'm sorry. That's traumatic. I couldn't imagine. But I didn't do it.
Right.
You
And
know,
it's you can acknowledge that. Like once you become more self-aware and literally every situation you could stop, pause, and think, like, oh
yeah.
shoot, I'm feeling this way because way back when my dad had said, like, you know, and like really just start digging and like figure out your own truths,
Yeah.
you
That's
know, and
true.
resting those. And I feel like another thing is that therapy is not talked about enough in the Black community as much as it needs to be.
No.
Um, that's a major thing. I think like even I went to therapy and I learned a lot. I learned before then too, but therapy was like something that helped me in my relationship with my mother. Like, and it's
Really?
like, imagine if I never did that, and then what kind of relationship will I have with my daughters? Like
Mhm.
there, you know, there was stuff I was thinking about where I was like, okay, I'm gonna put myself in therapy because I feel like the only way I could be a good mom given my upbringing is if I work through all this stuff. Like
Yeah.
I
That's
need
amazing. Kudos
you
to you.
know,
Yeah.
thank you. But
Yeah.
it was that's the only
Broke
way.
that cycle too, though. You know,
Right.
you know, generational curses. You broke one. You feel what I'm saying? So for real, you should be proud of that for
Yeah.
sure. But yeah, I agree. Therapy isn't. I mean, I don't really know. Any of my friends ever went to therapy? My
Yeah.
sister went once. I've never been. It's something that I'm definitely interested in. I just haven't done it. But even though I haven't been in it.
Something where if I heard it, it felt like a jab. Like it felt like, oh, you crazy. You need to be in therapy. Like,
Mhm.
and I
Yeah.
think like something among like, my family and friends is if it was said, it was never said in a positive way. Like, you know what, I think if you did therapy, this might help you work through this, and that third. Like it was never like that. It was like, oh, you need therapy. Like that's
Yeah.
it. Oh, and that type of energy already feels negative. Like, and I think that's also a part of the problem of why and it's a similar thing as like, I don't want to go to the doctor. I ain't going to no therapist.
That's real though. Yeah.
Yeah. So
So
I feel like as Black people, we all got so much to talk about, and we need to wake up.
girl, we need to just send out an APP and be like, hey, come over
Yeah.
here and talk to us, please.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I find myself like, I enjoy talking to my mom and my sisters. I thank God for my village and the few friends that I love dearly. But sometimes I don't want to talk to them.
Right.
So they might trigger me and make me madder.
Right.
Because they have it.
Know the buttons to push and the wrong things to say, like
Or
or the right.
because I want you to go off with me. Now you on here telling me something else. Now I'm like, you know what? Don't even worry about it. Or even the fact that in the Black community, it's like, just pray. Just pray and it'll work out.
Like that will. How am I supposed to just pray about what? Like, what do I even say right now at this point? Is it supposed to magically be fixed?
Yeah, but Rose, like, you know what? I just thought about something too. And I feel so bad. I probably should have, but that's that social media, you just be scrolling. But literally, when I sit here and think, like this past week, I probably have saw about 3 posts that say I just want to give up. It's
like when I see that, I try to say something like
say something to them. I know exactly what I'm like. I just realized that, like, dang, people wonder why people go to the extent they do, and then people still don't even show up. Dang.
Celebrity, I'm trying to remember who it was. A celebrity posted something. I can't think of his name, but he posted something about his cat.
Yeah.
And he basically pretended like he was the cat writing in for himself. Third.
Why young boy,
Yeah.
NBA.
Yeah, and I was like a lot of people was just talking trash.
Yeah.
And this is an obvious cry for help. He's literally he don't maybe it's pride, maybe his ego, and he can't say, bro, I need help.
Yeah.
Knows he needs it, and he's trying to voice it by doing it in this weird comical way, but it's a literal cry for help. And I hope that the people in his circle can see that and help him get the help that he needs.
Yeah, because he's
done like
going away. Him and Kodak Black. You saw Kodak Black? Girl, I don't know what's going on, but they just going these routes that's just different. But that village and that foundation matter every time, because when you fall, you got somebody to pick you back up.
It's hard because some people don't have nothing. Like they don't have like it might, even in his situation, it could be where his supporters aren't even supporters. They're just leeches here to take and go. Like, you know what I mean? And it's one of those things like, what do we do for those people as people like kind of looking in and like we can all see it and like even they know, but there's nobody.
I just think that I think that there are people that probably care. I think sometimes that because we have such this toxic culture on social media, it's hard to see the good. Like you really gotta be like, you gotta realize like I can have 10,000 great comments and I can see 5 bad ones. Now my day is missed. But like even this girl I love off of TikTok, Monet Mitchell or Michelle or something like that, she literally had a breakdown like the bad comments are getting to me, but literally this is the happy, her videos always go lucky, happy, but it's like even the strongest person is going to break down at some point. And I think NBA is just having a cry for help. Is it NBA or YNBA? Young boy never broke again. That's the YBN. Sounded out. Oh, I'm making like an old lady. I know who he is, y'all. But I don't know. It's just, I mean, we can do something, but it's like we can't, but we can. It's just like, I don't know. Send
Like a
some good
slope of like,
comments. It's like, hmm.
I said it's kind of like a slippery slope of like, if you're like on the outside looking in,
Yeah.
you don't even know how they're gonna accept you. Like, I mean, you could try. Like, that's what I did. If I can
Exactly.
say something that might help this person in this moment, all I can do is type. That's the only thing I can do.
Exactly.
And it's
Yeah.
like that and hope for the best. And that's literally it. That's really all we can do because we don't know most of these people personally, when it is now, if it is somebody you know personally and you notice whatever is going on with them, like obviously reaching out is the best thing you can do.
And some
Like
people don't want help too.
and
Yeah.
or even if they don't want to take your advice, throwing out small tips like, oh yeah, I was just on betterhelp.com and
Right.
like little things that might help or just little stuff like even if you feel like there's nothing you can do, like sometimes just your conversation is enough, like so
Yeah. It's a lot though. It's a lot when you just think about it.
yeah,
But that's why I just try to stay true to me and try to be the nicest person I can and most genuine human I can. Cause baby, we all got stuff and battles and
right,
colorism and black men hate us. I'm just like, we all got everything,
yeah,
you know.
yeah,
But it's hard. I don't know. Because when you think about it, it's like, yeah, it's just a slippery slope. It's like
yeah,
be up one day, they're down one day. That's it.
yeah. And social media mostly, there's obviously positives on social media, but the things that get the most attention are usually more negative things.
Toxic culture.
Gossip, crazy stuff, like whatever is happening, those are the things that's like in our faces because the major pages, that's what they talk about and who we all follow, like
You know what I thought was so petty? I thought
but
this was so petty. Now I understand this is Beyonce, but the person who took their time to zoom in on that lady nails, that she needed a fill in, I was just like, so what? This lady is on a world tour. I'm pretty sure she could have 50 people doing her nails if she wanted. Oh, excuse me, but even stuff like that, I just like there wasn't even nothing to make a story out of. Not a Shade Room posted it, Hollywood Unlocked. I'm like, oh my god.
I mean, yeah, they literally do anything for a little bit of clout. Literally.
Cloud is a drug. Cloud
It
is
is,
one hell of a drug.
yeah.
For sure.
Like that's it, because what's crazy is a lot of these people, you can't even say it's the general like the general paparazzi type thing because paparazzi get paid. They turn it into somebody and they get a little bit of money. But the general person on social media is just trying to
Find
like
something.
have something crazy, post it, people know that it was them who posted that. So that it's almost like when you're younger and you're in middle school and somebody gets in a fight and you the only one that saw it and you tell everybody and you like
Yeah.
and it's like that same concept.
Exactly. Yeah. It really is. It's crazy though. That's crazy. Because even like the girl who posted Little Meech, she knows Walker. Like, girl.
Meanwhile, I'm probably just created so much drama in her life. You don't know if this girl across the way about to come knock on your door and cause a scene because you done recorded her and posted it to everybody.
I would, yeah. Like, get out people, and that's another thing. People don't mind the business they pay them these days at all.
No, at all. Yeah. Oh man, yeah. I'm like, the more we go, we going down a rabbit stuff.
Right. But it all trickles in together. It's just like one big melting pot of.
It's all the same stuff, self-awareness, to be honest, even when it comes to all this online stuff, because someone that can sit back and say, this person might scan through these positive comments, do this past the hearts and the heart eyes, and see you're ugly, and that might actually be the only comment that triggers them, and now their whole day is ruined. Like people don't sit back and think like that. Like they just post. Like they don't even think before they talk or before they type in these situations. Just do it. And I think that's why I say like most of this, almost everything we talked about trickles back down to self-awareness. Because if you can't even acknowledge where you play a part, it's like the butterfly effect of how affect that person, then you everybody else doing the same stuff. Like
that self-awareness and mission, because self-awareness is accountability. If you're already aware, you know what you're accountable for.
Exactly.
So if people could just take that in, take a big whiff of it, maybe we could get somewhere. But people are just selfish and superficial and need instant gratification, and once again that clout is gonna mess them up every time. Like I even know people to this day, like just weird interactions. Like even I was talking to this girl from LA. In LA, they real deal. They'll come up to, hey, how you doing? How many followers you got? Like that's how they move. They trying to leech and get what they get to the top. Help me get to the top. And so she was like, oh yeah, I only have like 13K. I'm like, girl, you really been in LA too long, because you talking only 13K. Let me have 13K. I got 200. Okay. But once again, if you get caught up in too much of that, you will lose who you are as a person. Like especially if you do social media. I learned that quick. Just even trying to build my YouTube. I'm like, okay, what do I want to be? Who do I like? What am I trying to accomplish here, sis? Like, I just want to be me. I just want to, if I want to post a video about this one day, that's what I want to post. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to be nobody else. And at one point, I was getting kind of discouraged because I'm like, dang, like, I can't even get nobody to like my little link. I can't get to click on the link. But I just told myself, go back to like why you started. Like you are doing this because you actually like it. I don't want to do something that feel like a chore, because I wouldn't do it.
That for me, that was actually why I stopped doing YouTube, because it got to where we started making decent money from it. And then I started caught up in, oh, this video didn't make this much. This video made this much. And then all of a sudden I was so focused on like, okay, if we make this type of video, how much money will this video make? My whole, like, when I started YouTube, I was in cosmetology school, and I was on YouTube telling people what I learned at school, reading my book. Like that's literally how I started. And then eventually that became like just telling people about my life and like stuff I had been through and stuff like that. But somewhere along the lines, I got so caught up in like, okay, how much money can I make? And then YouTube changed terms and agreements. And I was making no money. And then I was like, I hate this. Like, I don't even like it no. When it's like, that was not even the point to begin with. Like, and it's easy to really get caught up in like the I guess just like the
analytics.
And it's like you can forget like your sole purpose of like why you even chose to do it.
Yeah, because I watch Queen and Clarence, and they actually talked about that. They was like, I used to just do this for fun, but then at one point I'm like, oh, I need to make this video. They was like, they take breaks all the time, because it's like,
that's what I'll start YouTube again in a few months. Maybe I won't.
But it's like, it's great to do it, but you want it to be like a benefit to who you are. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm not gonna say that when I see the money, I might be like, oh yeah, let me go and drop 20 videos today. But as of right now, I'm not even able to get monetized. Like, but I'm gonna just keep, trying and just stay consistent. That's all I can do.
Yeah.
But yeah. Yes, girl, this has been a good. I'm finna look. I be about to curse. I'm a little sorry, but this has been a good conversation.
Yeah,
for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. Well, to close everything out, on my YouTube, all my social medias are the same, Vogue Doll Rose. If anybody wants to go check any of that out. And yours is.
Well, my YouTube is the Queen Jazz. Please give me a follow if you can. But my IG is the Queen Jazz _. So if y'all want to check me out, that's how you can find me. Yes.
Bye. I'm like.